What do you say to a MAGA supporter in a three-piece suit? Will the defendant please rise?
I won't do business with people who support the president-elect, and it is because I need to create a safe place for me, my staff, and my family.
White women are the fucking problem. They embolden the problem. They marry the problem. They birth the problem. They're lazy as fuck, and they play victim about the goddamn problems that they're participating in. I don't know one happy white woman in one of my families. I only know white women that are either alone because men fucked them over and ruined their goddamn livelihoods and drove them insane, or they settled because they wanted their fucking retirements and they decided, hey, I might as well let this pissant live next to me. White women will sell out their daughters, sell out their children. They will quite literally do anything as long as they get picked. As long as they're not the ones getting beat on. Because what do we know about toxic white families? Well, they're not going after marginalized groups and poor people. They're beating the fucking shit out of white girls in the family. Especially if you're a free thinker. God forbid you're pretty, okay? Or got a brain. Oh my God, you're getting your ass fucking beat down.
Well, it's been rough. It was not what I was expecting at all, considering some of the rhetoric he has said. I thought we as a nation were smarter, but I guess not. To my transgender and friends and, the people who it affects, as long as you stay alive, they cannot say we don't exist. Being a Satanist means rebelling against them because they're wrong. And as long as you draw a breath, every breath you take is a rebellion. Keep on fighting because you just have to. Hail Satan, hail reason always.
I condone murder. I condone it. I think that we need to hold our politicians accountable by murdering them. And I think we need to hold J.K. Rowling accountable by murdering her too. And I'm so very serious about this. I think we should just all come together and murder everyone. We would just be so much happier in life if us as trans people just came together and murdered a bunch of people. I think that really would solve all of our problems.
Your life is going to get worse, not better. Thank you, stupid people!
Honestly, I'm so sick and tired of this. I think that we need to be meaner. A lot of progressive people have been playing this game of we are morally better than these people. We're not going to stoop down to their level of bullying, but we need to. If you voted for Donald Trump, you are a bad person. This is not about policy. People who voted for Kamala Harris are smarter than you. They're more empathetic than you. They have more compassion than you. Being so for real, if you voted for Donald Trump, don't speak to me. Don't speak to me because I don't have capacity for you in my life. I don't have space for you in my life because now I have to worry about my rights and my friends' rights and all these other rights for other marginalized communities, all these communities that aren't white, straight, white men for at least the next 4 years, if not longer than that.
If you voted for Trump, I don't want to hear you complain about any prices or inflation or taxes for the next 4 years because you voted for this. And you may not realize that you f***ed yourself over, but you will.
I'm not sad. I'm f***ing pissed at how many people in this country actually hate women. And as a white woman, I'm embarrassed to potentially be mistaken for one of the 53% of us who actually voted for a rapist. It wasn't about Donald Trump. It was about women and how high we set the bar for women in this country while the bar is on the floor for men. There will never be a woman good enough and there will never be a man bad enough because one would think that not a this would be a reasonable request.
By the way, if I know that you are a Trump supporter and you own your own business, I know how to list that shit and I know where to list it to boycott your business from seeing anything. You done f***ed around, now you're gonna find the f*** out.
Who else has men in their life that are maybe just acting a little too calm right now? That may have voted for Kamala, may have the same views, but are just a little too level-headed.
Trying so hard to pull it together because I have to go into work and I don't want any of the kids to know how scared I am. How am I supposed to go in there and tell them to embrace who they truly are, to support people, to love people, to care about people, to believe that they can do anything when tonight proved that that's not a reality.
Dude, just because no rights are being taken from you doesn't mean other people aren't losing their rights. Why don't you look at Project 2025 and actually see what you voted for? Thanks.
You voted for Trump because you don't want men in women's bathrooms assaulting your wives and daughters. But it's your side that's screaming your body, my choice.
I hate it here. We live in a country that hates women. We can't pretend anymore. What are we doing?
To have to watch Joe Biden in the White House shake that man's hand and treat him with dignity and respect as if he has earned that after calling us liberals the enemy within. Joe Biden shook his hand, smiled, treated him with kindness. That was infuriating. If you are a liberal woman in a red state who did not vote for this and you've been thinking about getting a divorce, do it. Do it now. Do not wait. If you are a conservative woman who did vote for this, rot in it.
If you supported Donald Trump through all of this, you're a terrible human being.
I've literally broken up with a man because he voted for Trump. And you can too. It's very easy. Say bye. Toodaloo. Sayonara, bitch. And here's the thing. Any man that's like, oh, that makes sense, you're gonna die alone, da-da-da. I'm getting married in 11 days, bitch. To a woman. You see that shit? You couldn't afford this ring. Even if you tried.
I think what's been proven over the last couple weeks is that rich, white, arrogant men continue, somehow, to beat their more competent, talented Black opponents.
Well, unburdened by what has been. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know? I think it's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present. So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us, right? What can be unburdened by what has been. There are those who are unable to see what can be, but there are many more who are able to see what can be unburdened by what has been. Remember Venn diagrams, those three circles? Right, and then let's just see where they overlap. You will not be surprised because I have constructed a Venn diagram on this. Remember those three circles, how they overlap? I grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community. Yes, you may clap.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home. I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context. I do believe that we should have rightly believed, but we certainly believe that certain issues are just settled. Certain issues are just settled. I do believe that we are living, sadly, in real unsettled times. It is the Caribbean nations, island nations, in the Western Hemisphere. That is where the Caribbean is. We are also in the Western Hemisphere. They are our neighbors. The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea, who saw what could be unburdened by what had been. I love Venn diagrams. I really do. I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those three circles. And I like to think about a lot of things in the context of a Venn diagram. So, Venn diagram, those three circles, right?
did it, Joe.